Times NBA reporters ask dumb questions. NBA players react, featuring LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. The NBA media is filled with reporters that probably don't deserve credentials. We've seen some terrible reporting in the NBA, and it's thanks to these reporters who ask dumb questions. Russell Westbrook is the diva of the NBA, and likely has had the most run-ins with reporters. He likes to think he's Marshawn Lynch or Greg Popovich, except he never has anything nice to say about reporters. Many NBA players should look back at how Kobe Bryant handled the media. Instead of worrying what was written in the papers, he would always worry about getting better on the court, so that the media doesn't have anything to put against him. If you win, the media is going to love you and adore you. Here are the times NBA reporters asked dumb questions, and how the players reacted towards them. Russell Westbrook. During the 2012 NBA playoffs, Russell Westbrook wasn't pleased by a reporter after the reporter asked, "Do you think James Harden is a max player? And what would you rate him as a shooting guard in the NBA?" Westbrook, shocked, quickly told the reporter, "No more questions," and called him a troll. Some would say that Westbrook is the Greg Popovich of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Westbrook has a history of shutting down reporters or not answering questions. Some of the questions Westbrook chooses not to answer are out of line. However, some questions are legitimate, and Westbrook still goes off the rail. This question was after James Harden played a fantastic game in the 2012 playoffs. The reporter Jonathan Tjarks of Real GM asked Russell Westbrook the question, "Do you think Harden is a max player?" Westbrook wouldn't have it. Westbrook responded, "No more questions for you, bro," and under his breath says, "Troll." You could tell there were tensions around OKC. The reporter was onto something with Harden, now a clearer max player for the Houston Rockets. As Harden grew with the Thunder, he commanded max money, and the Thunder didn't want to pay Harden, Durant, and Westbrook. That group should have won multiple titles, and instead won 0 together. Of those three, only Durant has NBA titles after dipping from the Thunder for the Warriors. Westbrook has other interesting moments with the media as well. This might be Russ's most famous post-game moment because people quickly turned this response into a meme. The interview took place after the 109-94 Thunder loss to the Utah Jazz in 2013, and the reporter asked one of the dumbest questions of all time. The reporter asked, "Russell, did you guys lose this game, or did the Jazz win this one?" I'm all for reporters asking tough questions, but this has to be the worst question I've ever heard. Did the Thunder lose the game, or did the Jazz win the game? Westbrook's response was simple, and the meme is an all-time favorite. Westbrook responded, "What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. Y'all bleep trippin'." First off, you can't expect Westbrook to be very happy after a blowout loss. Secondly, questions like that for someone like Westbrook is going to tip them off. We've seen it time and time again. That's not a great way to get on a player's good side and gain trust. There was another Westbrook classic with a reporter after the Thunder defeated the Warriors in January of 2015. He basically took a page out of Marshawn Lynch's book and didn't have much variety in his answers. Then, he was questioned about why he kept saying, "We did a good job executing." Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman raised his concern for Westbrook. Trammell asked, "Are you upset with something?" Westbrook responded, "Nah, I just don't like you." Trammell replied and asked, "You don't?" Westbrook simply responded, "No." Instead of stopping the conversation, Trammell dug deeper. He asked, "You don't like Nick either?" Trammell was talking about Nick Gallo, the Thunder's sideline reporter and writer. Westbrook responded, "I love Nick. I don't like you." Trammell and Russ went at it a couple more times since this incident. Here's another very popular Westbrook versus Trammell moment. After the Thunder's 109-103 loss to the Rockets in Game 4, Trammell questioned Steven Adams on the struggles the team faces without Westbrook on the floor. Of course, Westbrook interrupted the interview to shut Trammell down. "Steven, second time in 3 games you guys really struggled when Russell went to the bench. You were out there for part of that. What goes on when he goes to the bench? Why is Houston so successful? And do you sense that they sort of get an energy boost just from him going out of the game?" Westbrook interrupted. "Hold on, Steven. I don't want nobody trying to split us up. We all one team. Regardless if I go to the bench, if Steven's on the floor, if I'm on the floor, we in this together. Don't split us up. Don't try to split us up. Don't make us go against each other. Try to make it against Russell and the rest of the guys. Russell against Houston. I don't want to hear that. We in this together. We playing as a team. And that's all that matters. That's it." Trammell replied, "Yeah, Russell, I'm not trying to split you up. But twice in 3 games, you guys have not played well at all when you've gone to the bench." Russell replied, "That's fine." Trammell said, "And I'm just trying to figure out what's going on." Westbrook replied, "Say, Russell, you ain't play well at all. Say Russell and the team haven't played well. Don't say when Russell goes out, the team don't play well. It don't matter. We in this together." Trammell said, "That may be Russell, but I asked Steven a question, and it's a legitimate question." Westbrook said, "It's not between me and you. Next question." Trammell replied, "It's a legitimate question." Westbrook said, "Next question, next question, next question." Trammell said, "I'm going to keep the microphone. I had a question for Steven and it wasn't answered. I don't understand. If Steven wants to say he still hasn't said anything, if he wants to say I don't want to answer that, fine." Westbrook replied, "Next question, please." Westbrook has the craziest post-game interviews, but is it due to his personality or from reporters trying to push his buttons? Remember when Durant came back to OKC after leaving for the Warriors? There was plenty of drama and build-up in that game. On Christmas Day 2016, the Warriors lost to the Cavaliers. The Thunder tweeted out a video of Westbrook hitting an out-of-bounds three-pointer, and before he ran back to the locker room, you can hear him shout, "Thank you, Kyrie," which was a shot at Durant. After the game, one reporter wanted to see if they could get something out of Westbrook to put in the paper. The reporter asked, "Russell, there's a video going around Twitter right now where people on Twitter are saying you yelled, 'Thank you, Kyrie.' Do you want to comment on that at all?" Westbrook said, "What bleep do I look like, man? For real, man. When would I ever say that?" The reporter replied, "I didn't know if you wanted to clear anything up." Westbrook said, "Clear what up? What video?" The reporter said, "There's a video that the Thunder Twitter account tweeted out." Westbrook replied, "What video?" The reporter, "It's a video of you putting up a shot pre-game." Westbrook said, "I would never say no other man's name like that. Thank you, Kyrie. What do I look like, bro? I was talking to my trainer's daughter. His daughter's name is Jamie. Thank you, Jamie." I'm tired. I ain't even gonna keep going on that. I'm about to keep my spirit up because I'm not about to involve myself in any dumb stuff like that. But next question. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was always known for being very blunt with the media. When one reporter asked Bryant if as a team the Lakers could guard the Thunder, he gave a death stare, said no, got up, and left. A stupid question deserved a stupid answer, right? Kobe became more comfortable with the media as he got older. He realized their main purpose, and never had too many run-ins with the media throughout his career. He was all about the Mamba mentality, where he would worry a lot more about his play on the court than what people had to say off of it. During the 2012 playoffs, the Lakers were playing against the Nuggets, and reporter Bill Plaschke thought Kobe Bryant was smug. When Kobe was asked about the defense by Danilo Gallinari, Bryant just continued to drop sarcasm. He smiled, shook his head, and laughed at the notion of being really bothered by Gallinari. Plaschke had an outburst in the small media room. He yelled, "Kobe, you're such an a-hole." Plaschke regretted that outburst. Bryant stood up, left the room shocked, and wasn't sure what was really going on. Television picked up what Plaschke had said, and quickly, everyone had heard that Plaschke called Bryant an a-hole on live television. The next day, Bryant approached Plaschke at practice. You could tell Bryant knew exactly what Plaschke said, he just couldn't believe it. Kobe asked, "Hey bro, last night, did you really call me an a-hole on national television?" Plaschke answered, yes. Kobe stared down at Plaschke. Plaschke thought he was going to take a swing. Instead, Kobe just laughed. Then he said, "Isn't that like the pot calling the kettle black?" LeBron James. After a 132-113 loss in Game 2 of the NBA Finals in 2017, the Cavs were down 2-0 heading back to Cleveland. Some would panic in this situation, but the Cavs, who came back down 3-1 against the winningest team in NBA history a year before, weren't in panic mode yet. LeBron James decided not to go to the podium post-game. Instead, he opted for a media scrum in the locker room, just like he did after Game 1. The media ends up trying to chase the top LeBron quote of the night, and sometimes ask stupid and silly questions. With his shirt off and all, James was playing it cool during the interview session, but one reporter killed the mood. The reporter asked, "Do you feel it's the case where you have to defend home court at this point?" LeBron replied, "Well, are you a smart guy?" The reporter said, "I think so." LeBron said, "You think so, right? So if we don't defend home court, then what happens?" The reporter replied, Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying." LeBron said, "No, I'm asking you." The reporter said, "Well, then you guys will get swept." LeBron said, "Well, that answers your question." James was tired of these stupid questions and gave the reporter a little lesson. Then, after that question, James answered the next question about asking his needs for IV fluids after the game. He used sarcasm, claiming that he only needed some food and wine and he'd be alright. Apparently, LeBron was frustrated having to wait to go to the podium and just wanted to get the interview session over with quickly after the games. He said it had nothing to do with wins and losses when another reporter asked him that question. Don't reporters have anything better to ask LeBron? I mean, he's LeBron James. Get on his good side. After a blowout loss on their home floor in Game 3 of the NBA Finals, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat laughed at a really stupid question. What else would they do? Bobby Ramos told James and Wade that the Heat have a great defense, but the Spurs are averaging 104 points per game, and the Heat have a lot of offense, but they haven't broken 100 points yet in the series after 3 games. Then Ramos asked, "Is the problem your lackluster defense, or is it the problems you're having offensively?" James and Wade looked at each other for a good 10 seconds and didn't know how to respond to this lackluster question. LeBron just burst out laughing, and Wade tried to keep a poker face until LeBron forced a laugh out of Wade, asking for Wade to answer the question. James whispered to Wade and told him that he didn't know how to answer that one. Wade responded saying, "The problem is we're down 2 games to 1. Another time when James was asked a stupid question was after an Eastern Conference Finals loss to the Boston Celtics. The Cavs were still up 2-1. In the fourth quarter, the Cavs lost their identity and only scored 21 points. The reporter asked what went wrong in that quarter, and James replied that he wouldn't replay the game in his mind. After answering the question, the reporter asked to follow up if James was just not in rhythm in that game. James responded that his play was pretty poor. After saying he played poorly, he told the reporters that it only seemed like he asked questions when James and the Cavs lost. "You always come around when we lose, I swear," James said. Superstars like James and other greats will always have reporters asking stupid questions while trying to find the best story for their paper. As long as James and other athletes stay calm, cool, and collected and leave the drama out, all will be okay. They understand the business and understand what reporters are looking for and what they're trying to do. Westbrook picks fights, while LeBron usually takes the high road unless someone really asks something stupid. Kobe, on the other hand, seemed to be quiet around reporters. He never really cared about what others said about him, as he would just worry about how to get better. That's the mentality an athlete should have when talking to reporters. You can always respect teammates sticking up for their team, but sometimes reporters are in line, and NBA players take it out of context too. It all depends on how each person perceives questions and answers. Things will always get spun around. The reporters and players that keep the same perspective as intended gain the trust from one another, which leads to a long career in their field.